Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Hunaira Ali, and I'm part of the youth engagement team at Making Sense International. I'm very happy to welcome you for today's presentation with our youth lead ambassador from Brazil, Patricia. I will hand it over to Patricia to kick us off with the introduction and tell us more about her project. Over to you, Patricia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I am Patricia Zanella from Brazil, a YouthLead ambassador, and today I will present the pathways to fight against menstrual poverty. But for start, I would like to welcome everyone. So please add your name and where you are joining from in the chat, and I will be happy to see how many countries are represented here today with us. So feel free to introduce yourself on the chat. Our agenda for today, it will be around, first of all, I will introduce the YouthLead network, what means being an ambassador, and after this, I will start my lecture about the pathways to fight against menstrual poverty. And after the presentation, I will be open to questions. So feel free to make notes during the presentation and add your question at the end. And also, I will show how can we join us on YouthLead to impact youth lives and change the world with us. So about the YouthLead, what is our vision of the world? We are a global hub that believe that youngs can be change makers. And what we do is maximize their impact through our networking, mentoring, and accessing of information. For me, it's a huge thing be part of the YouthLead Ambassadors program that is program established with a lot of mentorship. We have access to trainings, to a youth positive development course to increase our impact in our communities, and at the same time have networking with people and young around the globe to grow and thrive together. We have a lot of programs that you are able to join us, and I will talk more about this later. So please watch all the presentation to have sure to not miss any information. And for you have idea about our impacts, we are more than 15,000 members from around the world. We have more than 11,000 resource funding event opportunities. So this event is just one of the thousands of events that we have during the year, and you can have access to mentorship programs, to courses, to grants opportunities, fellowships, courses, all this for free, because we are democratizing the content to thrive young change makers around the globe. We have more than 700 examples of YouthLead projects. So if you also cannot, I have no idea how to start to impact your community, we can support you and show you how you can do this. And we have more than 18 country pages to create content. This means that you are able to see in your own language a lot of opportunities also, and this is really huge. So please meet your website and our community and be part of this impact. I am really proud to be the only Brazilian on this cohort of YouthLead ambassadors, and this is our team for these years of young ambassadors. As you can see, we have a lot of representation, a lot of countries, and this is just a few parts of young leaders that we are supporting as an organization. And today, I will present for you my YouthLead project. As an ambassador, I needed to develop a project focused on one issue that for me is really huge for the youngs, and that we need change for thrive as society and for have a fair world. And my passion is menstruation and periods, and I can't even sleep when I remember that there are people around the globe that are facing menstrual poverty. And my purpose of life is change this reality. And today I will share with you what is the pathways to fight against menstrual poverty. And why I can tell you that I really know the pathways to change this reality. First of all, I am co-founder and CMO of EcoCiclo. EcoCiclo is a global organization that in Brazil, we developed the first 100% biodegradable sanitary pads, and we are impacting our country and all around the world, the menstrual education. So this lecture is just a few parts of my work that I introduce for you also in these presentations. But my background of education is that I hold a BA in International Relations and a Master's in International Law. I am a specialist in gender equality and sustainable development goals. I was a ally fellow, that is the program Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative this year, from the U.S. Department of State. Is the hugest program from the U.S. government for social entrepreneurs, and is really huge for me to be part of this program also as fellow. Last year, EcoCiclo was finalist on the World Justice Forum in Equal Rights. This is just one thing that allowed us to have sure that we are impacting the world and we are being recognized because of the good work that we are doing. I am also the first Brazilian Vive Engaged Fellow from the Vital Voice, that is a fellowship for women that are thriving the sustainable development goals in their communities. And I am also an international career mentor and be part of the YouthLead Ambassadors Networking, showing how mentorship really changes the game, really can change your reality. Because of this, I decided to support other Brazilian and young women around the globe to achieve better opportunities and change their reality. But first of all, we need to talk about what is menstruation. Menstruation, as we also know as periods in English, is something natural. First of all, is monthly. So each month we have our periods, and this could be a little obvious, but for you have idea, I already be part of competitions that some judges asked for us on EcoCiclo, like, but the people menstruate all the month, and we were like, yes, because something that can be obvious for us is not a reality around the globe. So first of all, what is menstruation? It's some physiological and monthly process that occurs in bodies of individuals with a uterus, from puberty until menopause, and all the months for prepare your body for pregnancy. If the pregnancy not happens, so you will have the blood of your body that is a part of the lift of your uterus and a little of normal blood. And why this is a global health challenge, how we start this conversation around the globe. For you have an idea, even since forever, people menstruate, just in 2005, we start to talk about periods in a global perspective. So yes, I'm talking about something that have less than 20 years of discussion around the globe. It is a huge problem. Why? Because when we are talking about menstrual hygiene management, that was how we start this conversation in a global perspective, we are talking about basic things like people who menstruate needed to know how to use a sanitary pads. People who menstruate need to have access to water, to sanitation, to soups during your period. And when we are talking about a global perspective, we need to talk about poverty. Because if people even have access to food and water, how can we have dignity menstruation? How can we guarantee that people who menstruate, not just women and girls, people who menstruate, will be able to go to school during their period if they are not able to manage this? So the discussion started because it's a physical thing that you are able to see. Okay, this kid's not going to school because they don't have the way to management what is happening with your body, even seeing something natural and the monthly happen. But we have more things than just the management. We needed to understand that this is a gender issue also. So we have the menstrual health hygiene that is talk about education. We need to guarantee that people who menstruate know what is happening with their body. And the data I will show it for you is really shockingly, because it's really sad when you even have access to knowledge to know what is happening in your own body. And this is about a woman right. So have access to what really means menstrual health hygiene is talk about woman rights, security, freedom. It's talk about how can we really achieve a society with more gender equality. So the first sector that started this conversation 20 years ago, it was the wash sector, about water, sanitation, and hygiene. Because when we are talking about water, sanitation, and hygiene, this is the first part that we need guarantee for everyone around the globe. So it's something that we are able to talk, even with people that don't have a uterus, like you need water to survive. So think about it. People who menstruate just water to survive, to drink is not enough, because we need to be able to clean yourself. And not because, oh, I need 3 showers per day. No, because it's a natural process of your body, and we need to guarantee the management, the access to quality education, and we need that public policies working to change this reality, that consider that if you need young people who menstruate going to school, we need to guarantee pads for them. We need to guarantee that the society are prepared for lead with people who menstruate. And how can we do this? So let's talk about menstrual poverty. Unfortunately, the data are really worse than I thought before I started to study. I had no idea when I was 20 years old, that it was 7 years ago, when I was starting to increase my knowledge about menstrual poverty, that we have 500 million people facing the lack of access to adequate menstrual hygiene management facilities. And this is a data from UNICEF. And the UNICEF is the first agency, one of the first agencies around the globe that starts to do research to show us how is this impact. We know also today that 45 days is how many days the students has missed up school because of their period. And the Play International, that is also working to change this reality, did a research that shows us that 48%, this means that one in each two people who menstruate feel embarrassed by their period. We feel ashamed of the period. And this is one of the things that make us not be freedom. Because if you are even able to talk something that is natural, that is not your fault, that is not your dirty, if we are not able to communicate this and even know that this will happen with us, we will start living this reality that girls are older than 4 years old. This data increased for 56%. So it's like almost of the people who menstruate embarrassed to talk about this. Because of this, it's important to talk about blood, talk that this is natural, explain what is menstruation, and do this work that I'm doing today to share this knowledge, to show you we need to talk about this. Because talk about periods is the first step to change this reality. But because menstrual poverty is not about, oh, I am in my period and I don't have access to management this, so I don't have access to pets, I don't have access to water. It's not just about it. This is a huge part of the issue, but this is also how can we change this reality if you cannot be on the politics demanding about period conditions, about menstrual dignity. If you are not able to do this because we feel embarrassed, because in some countries we can be arrested because of talk about periods, because we will suffer if you talk about this. This is about menstrual poverty, because it's a way to continuous a gender, this gender perspective that we are not good enough as human because we are dirty, because we have this problem that the society needs to lead. So we need to talk about periods as a human right, as a way to education, need to be normal, as be pregnant, as have a family, talk about periods, because we are talking about this. We are talking about the most important thing of the humanity, that is the possibility to have a life. So the periods needed to be seen as something really impactful on the life of every people from an uterus. That is about our own choice. So if we are embarrassed about your periods and we cannot manage this is about a lot of people that took medications to stop their periods, hate their periods. And this happens because this menstrual poverty, that is this lack of access also of education. So today, let's educate all of us a little more about periods. So the pathways to fight against menstrual poverty start with education. But it's not just about this. We need to guarantee the access to menstrual products and wash, because it's water, sanitation, and conditions to hygiene that will allow us also to change this reality. We need to be able to do national advocacy. You need to be this freedom to talk about period in our community, in our schools, in our university. So even if you decided to do a little group with your friends to talk about periods, you can start little, small. We can start with 10 people, with 5 people talking about periods, with your best friends, with your mom. But just start to advocate about it. And after this, you will be able to create a strategy to do this in a national level. And we need demanding for political reforms. Policy reforms are happening all around the globe when we're talking about periods. And I will show you also some events that we are having around this today. And you can join also in global movements. EcoCiclo is building a global movement to change this reality, but we have also a lot of partnerships, and I am really proud to be the representative of these partnerships of EcoCiclo. I was last year in Tajikistan by the UNICEF to talk about menstrual entrepreneurship, and this is just the paths, 5 steps. But let's learn more about each one of them. So when we are talking about menstrual education, if you need to start today, what do you need to do? So I bring 2 courses that are 100% free. And if you enter on my social medias, you'll be able to access them. The first of them is from the Global Change Makers, that is menstruation, sexual and reproductive health course. Is a course made by young people for young people. And this is really huge. And this is like, this really shows how can we create information, even young, for talk with other people of our age. But if you would like to have this global perspective and a consistent, also another consistent course is this from the Columbia University, is also for free from the EGX, that is menstruation in a global context, addressing policy and practice. So these 2 courses are free courses that you can able to start today and learn a lot of periods. And I am sure that this will change your life, because be able to have access to knowledge about your own body is evolutionary. And about menstrual education, here in Brazil, we have a program that is our ambassadors program of EcoCiclo. And we have menstrual educators from all around the country that provide in-person and online events here in Brazil in Portuguese. But we are co-founders of EcoCiclo. We are always doing lectures like this that I am doing today. So I will be happy to share another lectures that you did do during this next month. And I am sure that if you follow us and follow our work, you will have another opportunity to learn also with us about menstrual education. The second one, that is the access to menstrual hygiene products and wash. I bring some example from Brazil that we have some campaigns about dignity menstruation. And these campaigns is like have a box, literally, a box in public space or in malls or in markets or groceries that you are able to donate pads. Another initiatives on schools and universities is provide pads on the bathrooms, on the restrooms. And how can we do this? Of course, we can demanding this from the director of the school, from the public sector. But also, if you have the money to buy 2 box or 2 packets of sanitary pads and a box, and ask for and talk with your friends like, oh, I am thinking and do a box to just leave on the restrooms of our school or our university for if some people who menstruate need it, and this person will be able to just have 1 pad and it will be there for them. When we are talking about access to menstrual hygiene products, we are also talking about how can we create this network of knowledge about, okay, what is the organizations that are donating pads? Can I share? Can I donate for this organization? Can I be volunteer on this organization? What can I do for support these organizations that are donating pads? This is one of the things. The second thing is about education. So if you have access to pads and are able to create this network and create these small initiatives of in your company, if you work in person, you can like talk with the other people who menstruate in your company. Oh, what do you think that we can do this? And after start this movement, your boss will see we lead by the example also when we are able to do this. So, and if you are people that need a sanitary pads and they are ashamed to ask for someone, look on internet. What is these organizations that are donating pads? A lot of them you can just demanding, oh, I need pads this month. This will be hard. And we know that we need to prioritize sometimes food than pets. So if this is a reality for you, or please give this information for people that maybe are in vulnerable situations, that they can demanding for these donations. So when we meet these organizations that are doing this work in our communities, in our country, we are able to connect them and increase their impact. National advocacy. National advocacy, of course, almost of the time is it about protest, because unfortunately we don't have, at least I am from Brazil. In Brazil, we have less than 15% of women elected. So it's really hard demanding politics about sanitary pads. We are having some advance now. This year specifically, we have some advance that they were talking about on the last years in Brazil, but we know that these advances were just on paper and without budget to really make happen. So we need to continue fighting at the national advocacy, because when we show how strong our movement is, the politicals needed to change their position, and they understand that, okay, if I not support this, I will lose constituents, and they don't want this. So yes, be able to organize and scale people is like, it's really powerful, and it's something that really can change the game. So it's the third step to really active what we call policy reforms. And when we are talking about policy reforms, we are focused on two things. The first one is the tax of menstrual hygiene products. In a lot of countries, the tax of sanitary pads can make them 70% expensive than another products. So how can we talk about menstrual dignity if the government are taxing a product that is a question of human rights? That is something essential for someone live, for someone be able to work, be able to study. So we need to talk about these taxes. This is the first time, and for everyone. No one around the globe would like to pay for taxes, needed to pay taxes and for something that is essential. So we need to change this. This is wrong. And the second thing is about the free distribution of sanitary pads. So we need demanding this of the government. In Brazil, for example, we have free condoms. So in a lot of public space, we have free condoms. Why do we have money for free condoms and we don't have money for sanitary pads? So this is a question that we do for the main policy reforms, because we are talking again about a human rights, about something that I cannot choose. I have got my periods, all the month. So if I cannot choose, I need to be able to management with dignity this process. And what is the countries that are advancing menstrual dignity? What is the kind of legislation that we are seeing around the globe? I will start with a polemical one. That is in 2033, this year, Spain becomes the first European nation to pass the law permitting to grant workers the right to paid menstruation leave. What this means? Why this is so important? Do you know that the pain of a menstruation can be so strong as a heart attack? So we are talking about some people that, because of the lack of education, because the menstrual poverty on them about knowledge, cannot manage it safely your cycle, cannot have access if they have some health issue, they have no freedom to go to the doctor and talk about how much pain they feel during their periods. So we are having a lot of people that are just living out the month with the pain of a heart attack and going to work without any kind of security to even say that they are feeling that they will die. So this is a kind of legislation that can guarantee menstrual dignity for who needs. This is not a reality for all the people who menstruate, but it's a reality for some of them. And we need to think about it. The other thing that was really impactful around the globe, it was just in 2020, when Scotland, because the first country in the world to offer free sanitary pads. So we have like 3 years around the globe when one country decided to do a huge change. And they provide tampons and sanitary pads freely available at designated public space like community centers, pharmacies, youth clubs. So this is really impactful. In New Zealand, the government also announces the free distribution of pads in schools in June of 2021. And we have Kenya as the first country around the globe that removed taxes on imports of sanitary products. And this is really huge. And this happened in 2024. That was like one of the first countries that really have an advance about sanitary pads in even the beginning of this global movement that is increasing. And in France, also the government announced that they are investing 1 million euros on rollouts of free periods products of schools. Another pathway to fight against menstrual poverty is the global movements. One of the things that the global menstrual movement did, it was demanding on and advocate on the sustainable development goals to have specific goals to talk about periods. So when we see gender equality, we have targets focused on periods and water and sanitation. We have this also on good health and well-being. And this does happen because the Washington Unit, the Global Menstrual Collective, researchers, universities advocating for this happen around the globe. And these are really good movements to you understand more about how these movements are working and engage with them. And of course, as I am from Brazil, I would like to share a little of our reality about menstrual poverty in Brazil. We just have the first reports about this in 2020. that it was made by UNICEF and UNFPA. And we discovered that 4 million of people are suffering with the lack of access of sanitary pads in the schools. This includes the hygiene, the means of sanitation, toilets, soaps, and sanitary pads. And we have more than 18,000 girls living without access to bathroom or shower at home. So sanitation is really connected with this issue. And what are you doing to change this reality? National movements, new legislations, innovation, partnerships, and education. So I would like to introduce you my movement, that is EcoCiclo, a solution to fight against menstrual poverty. This year, I am really proud to announce that we already have more than 900 people who menstruate trained in menstrual education. We have more than 2,000 people impacted by your content directly. And we had 30 people who menstruate that were trained to become ambassadors of EcoCiclo and menstrual educators with a scholarship. So they receive it to study about periods, and receive to study in Brazil is really revolutionary. And what is our solutions? The first of them is the first 100% biodegradable sanitary pads made in Brazil. All of them are manufactured, it's 100% in Brazil, and we made of pads by vulnerable women. Our pads biodegrades in 6 months, reduce the CO2, are hypoallergenic, non-toxic, and vegan. And we have an impactful model that is to generate income for women in social vulnerable situations. Besides this, we also have solutions, corporative solutions with diagnostical and corporate training to prepare companies to manage better your employers, not just who menstruate, but all the employers, because we know that people who menstruate face aggressions on the labor market, like, oh, are you on those days? She's nervous today, probably she's in her period. And this kind of microaggressions could need to change. And we provide support to change these in companies. And we provide menstrual education with in-person events and online events, sponsorships by companies that would support our work to fight against menstrual poverty, increasing the access to menstrual education, promoting debates, panels, roundtables, and distributing sanitary pads and menstrual products. We also have our Period Ambassadors program. This is a huge program that impacting people who menstruate all around Brazil. As you can see, we have in-person events in all the regions of Brazil this semesters, and this is really huge for us because we start as 3 of women dreaming, and now we are seeing the results of more than 5 years working to change this reality. And now I would like to invite you to change this scenario. So how you can take action today? First of all, raise awareness. As I was talking before, you can talk with your mom about periods. You can talk with your best friends. You can start doing this little movement, because this will be about they start to sharing this kind of information, and will allow you to break this barrier inside us that it was created by the society for a long time, that is ashamed about talk about periods. So we need to break this cycle, and we will do this raising awareness with conversations with our friends, family, community members. So is created this safe space to talk about periods for you, first of all. The second one is support organizations. Discover if you have a plan international in your country, if you have small organizations donating pads, and support them. If you don't have money to support, be a volunteer, engage, discover if there is some social companies as EcoCiclo doing sustainable menstrual hygiene products, buy these products, share these products on social media, learn about how can we manage your period in a sustainable way. And also advocate for change. If you are not able to go to the Congress, talk with politicians, you can start using your email. You don't need it, if you can, of course, you can share on social media about periods. You can post today now. Today I am watching a lecture about pathways to fight against menstrual poverty. Do you know what is menstrual poverty? Post on Instagram. A little survey like yes or no. Do you know what is menstrual poverty? Ask for people that are following you. A lot of times we have no idea how our leadership matters. So be the leader. Support us to change this reality. Advocate for this stance. And if you have doubts about how to do it, I will be happy to support you and create strategies and work together to change this reality. And of course, educate others. Educate others and educate yourself about what is menstruation, or why this is a global health issue. Study, read more about it after this lecture, and sharing this information, this course that I share with you today, sharing on social media, share on LinkedIn, supporting other people to be able to educate it themselves also about menstrual poverty and about periods in general. And start sharing this video of this presentation. This presentation, as I told you in the beginning, will be available on YouTube, on YouthLead.org. So after this, share this link on your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter, Threads, TikTok. Share this information. We need to hit as many people as possible. And I count with you to continue changing this reality. So now I would like to open to questions. So feel free to raise your hand and join the conversation, and I will be happy to support you. Thank you. Yes, I can share the social medias of EcoCiclo here.
Patricia, I think Nelly has a question. Nelly, go ahead.
Go ahead, Meg.
Hi. Sorry, I don't have a question, but I wanted to tell you that your presentation really inspired me. I know period poverty is a very important issue, but sometimes I forget. I think that happens to a lot of people, like we just become like more present, but that's an issue that's always there. As you said, people menstruate every month. So I want to tell you that you inspired me to start an activity with my volunteer group, and we are going to collect pads and other menstruation products for women in that don't have for homeless women. So we are starting now this month, and hopefully we'll collect some nice things. So thank you for inspiring me. I think what you're doing is super great.
Thank you, Nelly. So I count with you, and I count with everyone that were able to listen today to change this reality. And this picture is me and my partner. So I know that we can impact a lot of people. We start as three youth woman, Black youth woman from zero in 2018, and we were able to raise more than $50,000 during these years. We were able to start our production of biodegradable sanitary pads, generating income for women, increase menstrual education. So I am sharing what I live. So I know that is possible. I know that even if you have no idea how to start today, if this is something that makes with your heart, if you are able to feel this pain, that is okay, people are menstruating and they will not be able to leave their home. And sometimes they will be not able even to have a shower during these days because they already live this reality. So it's really profound, and it's something that us that are able to have connection on the internet, we can do a lot. We can do more than we are able to imagine. So thank you, Nelly. I am really happy to hear that I inspired you and you inspire me also. So let's read together. And if someone have some question, I will have to answer. I will share my social medias on the final slides, and I can put on chat also. Just give me 1 second. I will share my LinkedIn so we can connect it and you can add me, and I will be happy to support you and send out them also. And as I told you before, I will share today also how can we engage with our YouthLead network, because if menstruation is not the issue that you are working today, it's not a problem. The YouthLead have a lot of projects in all the sectors, and I am sure that if you sing up on the YouthLead network, you can become a member. It's for free. You will start during your sign up on our website, youthlead.org, and you can share about YouthLead on social media. We have a lot of opportunities on our website. So join a community of the YouthLead. You can demanding for mentorships there. You can connect it with youth change makers around the globe that probably are working on the same purpose than you. So it's a really impactful network that I am proud to be part of it. And I will be happy to also send you a formal invitation to be part of YouthLead. You can just connect with me on LinkedIn and send your email so I can facilitate this process for you. And I will be happy to do this. I would like to thank you all. If someone have a question, I have some minutes, but these are my social media, and feel free to reach me in each one of them by LinkedIn, by Instagram, or by my company's email. There is Patricia, EcoCicloOfficial.com.br. And thank you so much for listening to me. And thank you, YouthLead, to be able to increase my voice and allow me to talk about menstruation and periods, because it's something really challenging. It's not all the place that we are able to do this. So thank you so much for all the sponsorships, all the making centers, and Youth Power and US Ed, and all the organizations involved to this incredible program.